Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to Candy's Cozy Couch. My name is Candace, and my nickname is Candy. That's how I came up with that really significant name. At least I think it's pretty significant. It means a lot to me, matters to me a lot. It's my name. Anyway, that's none here, neither here nor there. I'm getting tongue tied. I don't know why, but what I do know, hold on, cause I gotta pick it up, yo. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Y'all gonna play it with me or no? That's all right. I got it. Let me do it. It's time for the checklist. 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 Just like this. Thank you very much. All right. Checklist time. Well, since I said all that, boy, I need to work on my bongo skills. I'll work on it. I will. But the question is, did you eat, boys and girls? Are your tummies full and satisfied? Dinner was good? Check. Moving along. Is that homework done? Did you get your homework done? Did you get your homework done? So your teacher can be proud in the morning. Even though tomorrow is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It's a national holiday. Probably not even in school. So what? Did you get your homework done? Check. All right. Let's see. Think. What else? Dinner, homework, room. Is your room clean? Is your room clean? Is it spick and span clean? I don't know about spick and span clean, but close enough though. Check. You got your PJs picked out for the night and clothes picked out for the next day. Like what you wearing tomorrow, which is a Monday, Martin Luther King Day to be exact. What are you wearing tomorrow, huh? Is it picked out? Because you ain't got time to be sitting there wasting all your time trying to figure out what you're going to wear tomorrow if you can figure it out tonight. Get your clothes for tomorrow together. Check. Hey, bath or shower time. Did you take your bath or your shower? Are you fresh and clean? Is your body nice and clean and relaxed and fresh and ready? Did you take your bath or shower? Check. Got your PJs on? I got mine on. I told you, tree is over. I still wear these little caps though. Don't. Hey, a nightcap. Literally, that's what this is. I know. I'll cover up my hair. We got the hairstyle or whatever. Cover it up. But that Christmas tree is gone though. But who got their favorite PJs on? Huh? Check. Did you brush your teeth? Are they shiny and glistening and gleamy and all that good stuff? Pearly white? With your breath all fresh? Did you brush your teeth? Check. Got a night light? Get you a night light in your life. I got one. I just need to turn it on. Not yet though, because my main lights is on. And I got a lamp on. Okay. So I got it going on over here. But when I turn off the main lights, that night light finna go on. Check. Did you give your I love yous, hugs, kisses, smooches to your family members and pets in the house? Okay, show your love before you go to bed. Check. I think I covered everything, but I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. So the main thing is that you say your prayers. If you have not said your prayers yet, make sure you say your prayers before you go off into dreamland. And then get all cozy and cuddled up and snug as a bug in a rug in your bed, ready for a good night of sleep after you say your prayers. Check. All right, let's get started. Yes, tomorrow's national holiday is Martin Luther King Day. You know, it's an off day for a lot of people. You don't have to go to school, all that good stuff, but it's important. So listen closely because I have a story that is entitled My Brother Martin. A sister remembers growing up with the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. by Christine King Ferris, illustrated by Chris Piet. Sound Piet? Oh my goodness. Let's see. NAACP Image Awards winner, a child magazine best book of the year. I done messed up the pronunciation of the name on a particular book here. That Arthur, or I should say the illustrator, but hey, we did what we did. So it says, Mother dear, one day I'm going to turn this world upside down. These are the words apparently of Martin Luther King Jr. Long before he became a world famous dreamer, Martin Luther King Jr. was a little boy who played jokes and practiced the piano and made friends without considering race. But growing up in the segregated South of the 1930s taught young Martin a bitter lesson. Little white children and little black children were not to play with one another. Martin decided then and there that something had to be done, and so he began the journey that would change the course of American history. Sorry, guys, I was reading the back of the book here, so you have to excuse me if you're just like, what is this? What is she doing? All right, let's get to it. I have a dream that one day little black boys and girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. And these are the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., August 28, 1963. And I read that because that's what I saw when I opened up this book. All right. My brother Martin. Gather around and listen as I share childhood memories of my brother, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I am his older sister, and I've known him longer than anyone else. I knew him long before the speeches he gave, and the marches he led, and the prizes he won. I even knew him before he first dreamed the dream that would change the world. So firstly, there you see what I have read, and this is his sister. We were born in the same room, my brother Martin and I. Well, I was an early baby, born sooner than expected. Mother dear and Daddy placed me in the shift robe drawer and stood in the corner of their upstairs bedroom. I got a crib a few days afterward. A year and a half later, Martin spent his first night in that hand-me-down crib in the very same room. The house where he were born belonged to Mother Dear's parents, our grandparents, the Reverend and Miss A.D. Williams, and lived there with them and our Aunt Ida, our grandmother's sister. Okay. And not long after my brother Martin, who we called ML, became, because he and Daddy had the same name. Our baby brother was born. His name was Alfred Daniel, but we called him AD after our grandfather. They called me Christine. And like three peas in the pod, we grew together. Our days and rooms were filled with adventure, stories, and tinker toys, with dolls and Monopoly and Chinese checkers. And although Daddy, who was an important minister, and Mother Dear, who was known far and wide as a musician, often had work that took them away from home, our grandmother was always there to take care of us. I remember days sitting at her feet, as she and Aunt Ida filled us with grand memories of their childhood and read to us about all the wonderful places in the world. Okay, this story tonight might be fairly long, just bear with me. And of course, my brothers and I had each other. We three stuck together like the pages in a brand new book. And being normal young children, we were almost always up to something. Our best prank involved a fur piece that belonged to our grandmother. It looked almost alive, with its tiny feet and little head and gleaming glass eyes. So every once in a while, in the warming light of evening, we tie that fur piece to a stick and hiding behind the hedge in front of our house, we would dangle it in front of a unsuspecting passerby. Boy! You could hear the screams of fright all across the neighborhood. Boys and girls, you guys do this. You play little pranks like that. Don't get in trouble now. Yeah, I'm just saying. Then there was a time Mother Dear decided that her children should all learn to play piano. I didn't mind too much, but ML and AD preferred being outside to being stuck inside with our piano teacher, Mr. Man, who would rap your knuckles with a ruler just for playing the wrong notes. One morning, ML and AD decided to loosen the legs on the piano bench so we wouldn't have to practice. We didn't tell Mr. Man, and when he sat crash, down he went. Oh, they ain't have to do him like that. They ain't have to do him like that. Oh, they ain't have to do him like that. Okay, now. This is why we don't just take them nowhere. But mostly we were good, obedient children, and ML did learn to play a few songs on the piano. He even went off to sing with our mother a time or two. Given his love for singing and music, I'm sure he could have become as good a musician as our mother had his life not called him down a different path. But that's just what his life did. My brothers and I grew up a long time ago, back in a time when certain places in our country had unfair laws that said it was right to keep black people separate because our skin was darker and our ancestors had been captured in far off Africa and brought to America as slaves. Atlanta, Georgia, the city in which we were growing up, had those laws. Because of those laws, my family rarely went to the picture shows or visited Grand Park with its famous cyclorama. In fact, to this very day, I don't recall ever seeing my father on a streetcar because of those laws and the indignity that went with them. Daddy preferred keeping ML, AD, and me close to him, where we'd be protected. We lived in a neighborhood in Atlanta that's now called Sweet Auburn. It was named for Auburn Avenue, the street that ran in front of our house. On our side of the street stood two-story frame houses, similar to the one we lived in. Across it crouched a line of one-story row houses and a store owned by a white family. When we were young, all the children along Auburn Avenue played together, even the two boys whose parents owned the store. And since our house was a favorite gathering place, those boys played with us in our backyard. I think this is one of the more famous happenings that occurred for Martin Luther King. And ran with ML and AD to the firehouse on the corner, where they watched the engines and the firemen. The thought of not playing with those kids because they were different, because they were white and we were black, never entered our minds. And boys and girls, I do know that you guys are innocent of any understanding of anything that makes us different in this manner. And just Martin Luther King and his family were the same way. Well, one day ML and AD went to get their playmates from across the street, just as they had done 100 times before, but they came home alone. The boys had told my brother that they couldn't play together anymore because AD and ML were Negroes. And that was it. Shortly afterwards, the family sold the store and moved away. We never saw or heard from them again. Looking back, I realized that it was only a matter of time before the generations of cruelty and injustice that Daddy and Mother Dear and Mama and Aunt Ida had been shielding us from finally broke through. But back then, it was a crushing blow that seemed to come out of nowhere. Sometimes parents overprotect the children, and then it all bubbles up. Then they have to go ahead and explain themselves. It's all out of love, though. It's not with ill intent at all. Why do white people treat colored people so mean? ML asked Mother Dear afterwards. And with me and ML and AD standing in front of her, trying our best to understand, Mother Dear gave a reason behind it all. Her words explained the streetcars, our family avoiding, and the whites' only signs that kept us off the elevator at City Hall. Her words told why there were parks and museums that black people could not visit, and why some restaurants refused to serve us, and why hotels wouldn't give us rooms, and why theaters would only allow us to watch their picture shows from the balcony. But her words gave us hope. She answers simply because they just don't understand that everyone is the same, but someday it will be better. And my brother ML looked up into our mother's face and said the words I remember to this day. He said, "Mother dear, one day I'm going to turn this world upside down." So boys and girls, know that you are the game changer. Anything that you don't like that's happening right now, you are the answer. You are the solution. You can change whatever it is. In the coming years, there would be other reminders of the cruel system called segregation that sought to keep black people down. But it was Daddy who showed ML and AD and me how to speak out against hatred and bigotry and stand up for what's right. Daddy was a minister of Ebenezer Baptist Church. And after losing our playmates, when ML and AD and I heard our father speak from the pulpit, his words held new meaning. Because that for them was a really difficult time. Who wants to lose their friends and then not understand why they can't play with their friends anymore? That's no fun. And Daddy practiced what he preached. He always stood up for himself when confronted with hatred and bigotry, and each day he shared his encounters at the dinner table. When a shoe salesman told Daddy and ML that he'd only serve them in the back of the store because they were black, Daddy took ML somewhere else to buy him new shoes. Another time, a police officer pulled Daddy over and called him boy. Daddy pointed to ML sitting next to him in the car and said, "This is a boy. I am a man. And until you call me one, I will not listen to you." These stories were as nourishing as the food that was set before us. Now that's a dinner table conversation. And that's something in 2021 we need to get back to doing. Families need to sit down at the dinner table and eat together. Years would pass, and many new lessons would be learned. There would be numerous speeches, marches, and prizes. But my brother never forgot the example of our father or the promise he had made to our mother. On the day his friends turned him away. And when he was much older, my brother ML dreamed a dream. Yes, he did. Trying to work this out and turn the world upside down. So MLK indeed helped us kind of come together. That is the end of the story, boys and girls. And tomorrow we celebrate him, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., for his efforts that have paved the way, that have gotten us to where we are. And then it's like passing the torch. His efforts pass the torch, and we have to carry it on. All right, boys and girls, let's carry it on in our dreams, shall we? Think about what I read to you in our story tonight. Get comfy and cozy in your bed. Hunker down and get ready to close your eyes and whisper to yourself what you like to dream about. Hopefully that you being that awesome person that makes big changes in our world. That's a good dream. Allow your body to relax, be still, be calm, be safe, be warm, be comfy, be cozy. Drift off to sleep and dream that special dream. And boys and girls, I'm going to let you get to it because I want to dream my special dream too. So have a good night. Bye-bye. I'll see you next time.